Quentin Grimes.
He's got eyes in the back of his head.
Grimes with the finish.
He's got quite the skill set that a lot of NBA scouts love.
With size, a high basketball IQ, defensive toughness, shooting potential, and winning pedigree, Quentin Grimes is an instant impact freshman with a high floor and eventual NBA starter potential.
Not only is he going to be an NBA player someday, Paul, but he's getting an opportunity next year to play major minutes for a team that's in the top 5.
Eurocamp, FIBA U18s, Hoop Summit, Jordan Brand, McDonald's. Grimes is an experienced, early blooming prospect who plays with the maturity that his track record suggests. Unlike most 18-year-olds, Grimes is a steadying force that shouldn't take long for an NBA team to develop. Quentin Grimes has an outstanding feel for the game that allows him to contribute to winning in a variety of ways. He's an excellent passer who can moonlight as a point guard for stretches. He makes intelligent reads in the open floor and even shows some creativity, here threading the needle to Jalen Smith. Although not that dynamic with the ball, he has an excellent court sense. Here he does a great job immediately scanning the floor after the hard hedge, knowing they have a 4-on-3 before finding the open shooter. While mostly a simple play passer, Grimes does have some creativity, showing the ability to play make off a live dribble in pick and roll. He has point guard-like non-verbal cues in his game as well. Here driving at an overplayed Cam Reddish to more or less signal the backdoor cut, then puts the pass right on the money. He's unselfish with a vision that allows him to play either guard spot. Grimes is also a high IQ cutter, regularly finding soft spots in the defense to either score or facilitate. He flashes to the ball when his teammates are in trouble, almost always knowing where to be on the floor. He does a great job of losing defenders with hard back cuts, setting up his man with sharp footwork. He caught Romeo Langford sleeping on numerous possessions during McDonald's All-America Week and generates easy offense for his teammates. Grimes' cutting instincts and court vision allow him to have an impact without needing much volume or a million dribbles to get anything done, which is extremely rare among prospects in today's game. Lastly, Grimes has a great feel for how to attack the gaps. He knows how the defense is configured before the ball gets swung his way and generates momentum toward the rim before the catch, making him a tough cover at close to 210 pounds. Once in the paint, he can drop the ball off or take what the defense gives him at the rim. Grimes has a maturity well beyond his years and should be able to see the floor early in his NBA career because of that. Physically, Grimes has some similarities to both Gary Harris and Josh Hart, as all three have sturdy frames with below average length and reach. Grimes could draw some comparisons to both NBA guards throughout the pre-draft process. Shooting is clearly one of Grimes' biggest question marks, but he at least shows you glimpses from the perimeter. When he shoots the ball with confidence, he's fairly accurate, showing nice balance and touch. As you can see here in Kansas' exhibition, he has a slight hesitation before going up, but his stroke certainly looks developable. When he's shot ready with his hands and feet, more often than not, he's straight up and down getting into his release. He can do a better job of catching on the hop and staying shot ready, but his balance is generally really good, and he has a strong base to lean on. Once his spot jumpers start falling, Grimes should be able to employ his smarts to attack closeouts, whether going immediately off the catch or using his powerful footwork to jab at opponents. Grimes has potential as a pull-up shooter as well, as he's really comfortable rising up in mid-range spots. He gets really good elevation off the dribble. This play is a great look at how he rises up off a hard 1-2, planting on his right, then springing off his left into a smooth pull-up with great balance. If Grimes can keep defenders honest with his pull-ups, he should be able to work his way into the paint more often, as he's already shown the ability to change speeds in a straight line. While not shifty or a dunk contest leaper, he plays angles, and these slight changes of speed at 210 pounds can be effective if he's shooting the ball well. Lastly, Grimes has the turnaround game to punish smaller defenders in the post. Here setting up the right shoulder fade with great footwork. He has excellent positional size for a combo guard and really could become a reliable post-up player in the future. Grimes is a rock-solid on- and off-ball defender who adds value thanks to his strong frame, high IQ, and competitive streak. He lacks elite length and isn't overly rangy, but he has really good feet and always plays in the stance. He doesn't bite on fakes or dribble moves and does a nice job of reading his opponent, keeping the ball in front. Similarly to a Josh Hart or Gary Harris type, his smarts and competitiveness make him a plus defender. He has really sharp technique sliding with the ball and should be able to fight against switches with his strong base. Despite his mediocre 6'7" wingspan, he blocks the jump shot here by sheer virtue of timing and anticipation. He had some really nice defensive possessions against RJ Barrett in the Nike Hoop Summit game, bodying up and keeping the potential #1 pick out of the paint, forcing him into tough floaters. Again versus Barrett, Grimes squares him up in transition and baits him into a pull-up 2. He defends without fouling, almost getting his hand caught in the cookie jar here, but pulling back at the last second. Off the ball, Grimes is really instinctual, keeping his head on a swivel. He's quick to the ball once he breaks on a pass and projects as an above-average team defender long-term. Despite being only 18, Grimes has a lot of veteran tricks in his bag, regularly stealing inbounds passes after making a bucket. He baits opponents into mistakes on a regular basis, showing wisdom well beyond his years. Grimes' competitive nature shows on the glass as well, as he kept plays alive on the All-Star circuit, showing effort few others would. He chases down loose balls and does all the little things that teams want to see in a high-floor prospect. Thanks to his strength, competitiveness, IQ, technique, and sound foot speed, Grimes should be able to defend either backcourt spot in the NBA. Although he shows flashes, Grimes is a career 31% three-point shooter and a 59% free throw shooter, according to our database. He's fairly quick from catch to release at times, but the ball just doesn't come out the same way every time, with a wide variety of misses, sometimes looking stiff in his upper body. More comfortable in 1-2 situations, Grimes could also use work catching on the hop. You can see here he's a bit sloppy with his shot prep and can be too narrow with his stance at times.
Well, I see a guy that isn't totally confident in his three-point jump shot yet.
That's exactly the case with Grimes. Once he misses 1 or 2, he stops even looking at the rim from 3. This play is a classic swing that should end with an open corner 3. First, Grimes doesn't quite space all the way to the corner, but more importantly, he barely looks at the rim off the catch. The closeout defender is in the middle of the paint, yet Grimes gives a slight head fake and drives to the rim where he blows a layup. This is a classic sign of a shooter with shaky confidence. Again here, Grimes not sure if he should lift to the wing or stay in the corner, and again he turns down a rhythm 3 and forces an entry pass to Azubuike. Grimes has to be confident enough to take those threes or he'll really hurt offensive flow. You see it in DHO situations as well. Here at Adidas Eurocamp, he comes off the Naz Reid dribble handoff. Janan Musa goes under and gets caught on the screen. Reid's defender is at the free throw line. For most shooters, this is an easy read and a clean look at a jumper. But Grimes hesitates, giving the panic head fake and tries to attack, allowing Musa to get back in front and force a jump pass turnover. Grimes can stand to become more reliable off the dribble as well, especially from 3. The fact that he can play on the ball some is certainly intriguing, but if he can't make pull-ups with consistency, that on the ball time might be limited. While generally on balance, he's a bit indecisive with his feet getting into his shot and a little stiff in his upper body. Far too many hard right to left misses for Grimes. Even when his feet are sound like you see here, he shoots a bowling ball off the backboard. In a recent Kansas exhibition, he shows great feet and an impressive in and out move into the hop pull-up here, but he struggles to convert these opportunities even still. Whether it's spots or pull-ups, the type of shooter he becomes will really decide whether or not Grimes will be a hard-playing utility guard or much more than that. While he can handle and pass, Grimes isn't the most dynamic shot creator right now. He's a bit predictable with his dribble moves, regularly opting for straight line hesitations. As you saw in the in and out pull-up before, he has some power, quickness combination moves that could work well in quick hitting actions, but he's just not all that comfortable yet as a shot creator against athletes. He has a solid handle, but in ball screens, his first instinct is to kill his dribble and get rid of it when he sees pressure. The fact that he doesn't over-dribble is a plus, but you'd like to see him add more creativity to his live dribble game, especially if he's going to play on the ball more in the future. You see it here even on this closeout attack. He has 175-pound Darius Garland on an island in the paint, but just doesn't have much in his arsenal in terms of change of direction moves. So he tries a half spin, kills his dribble, then kicks the ball out. Even off the screen here, he has a one-track mind and barrels through the defender. Most of his turnovers are of the sped-up variety. Not because he doesn't have feel, but more because he doesn't trust his jump shot or shot creation skills at this stage of his development. Then when Grimes does get all the way to the rim, he's a really poor finisher. He doesn't get much extension with that 6'7" wingspan and 8'4" standing reach, and is a more powerful than freakishly explosive leaper. He leaves a lot of points on the table and is really right-handed around the rim. He lacks any type of creativity and doesn't have the best touch in the paint. He tries to lower his shoulder and get into the body of his defender rather than mixing in different deception finishes to make up for his lack of reach and pop. His right-hand dominance is certainly a factor, as is his lack of feel for drawing fouls. Grimes will really have to add some form of a floater or goofy foot finishes to his game, or he'll really struggle to score with much consistency and efficiency as the level of competition increases. Grimes checks a lot of boxes that NBA teams are looking for in a prospect, with his physicality, excellent feel, toughness, and impact on winning. He can do a little bit of everything on the floor and has little downside, looking the part of a future NBA starter. But with minimal length, a mature frame, and not many elite skills, Grimes' long-term upside has always been in question. But if Grimes makes enough shots and plays a big role in a successful season in Lawrence, he should get looks as high as 5 come draft night.